violets are blue, an original myth by Claire Sorkin. It was a beautiful spring day. Demeter, the god of the harvest, was minding her own business and doing her work. She was tending all of her fields. This usually took 3 hours if she was not interrupted. But today she saw peculiar-looking spots all over the fields. Demeter became very worried that something was ruining her stunning fields and all of her precious work. As soon as Demeter saw these strange spots, she rushed to Zeus, for she could not imagine that all of her work would be ruined. She even picked up a spot of color and brought it to Zeus to show him. Demeter took her work very seriously, and there were never any mistakes. Zeus was also shocked. He could not believe there was an imperfection in Demeter's work. After all, Demeter was a god, and she was supposedly perfect. Zeus decided he needed to take care of his problem immediately, so he sent Hermes down the long journey to the cold and dark underworld. Hermes ran as fast as a cheetah to the underworld to talk to Hades. Once he got there, he moved quickly. When Hermes showed the spot of color to Hades, he was also surprised. Hades quickly became very defensive and said that the only reason there were spots of color on the field was because the people of the underworld were throwing their trash away in the sky. After Hermes got the news, he thanked Hades and sprinted as fast as he could back up to Mount Olympus where Zeus and Demeter were. Once he got there, he told them what Hades had said about the trash, and they were surprised. But now they had to decide what they were going to do about the problem. Zeus decided that he was not going to bother to deal with Hades and that he could just leave the specks of color where they were. It was not Demeter's first choice to keep the patches of color, but she had to obey what the main god Zeus had commanded. Also, the patches were very beautiful and seemed to dance in the wind. So Demeter went back into the fields and tried to make the colors grow and get taller so nobody would step on them. Demeter went to bed that night, and the next morning when she woke up to go to the fields to do her work, the patches of color were about 7 inches off the ground. They had long vines connected to the patches of color at the top. They were all different colors and shapes. They were scattered around all the fields. She even pulled some out of the ground and gave them to Zeus. Zeus was so surprised about how the colors had bloomed. Zeus decided that he needed a name for these beauties, something that sounded bright and happy, just like they made him. Maybe they could even be a sign of love for Aphrodite.
Hey, do you know what time it is?
He thought that the word flowers sounded bright and colorful and were perfect for the patches of color.